if you commit suicide, your brother, your sister, your mother, your friend, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your child, all those people who really, really love you will be really fucking confused for the rest of their lives and really angry and really jealous. I'm jealous of everyone who has a sister. You know? It's been like 6 years since she died. And it's still really hard to talk about. I mean, in just a real way. Like, because I can say a sentence here or there in a video. And it feels good to talk about it. Especially when I try to put a message there. But like, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, there's someone who's supposed to be in your life right now, and they're not. And they never will be again, probably. No, actually, most definitely, because we all die. But, it just forces you to ask yourself a lot of questions you're never gonna get the answer to. So it just feels like a lot of fucking unnecessary pain, and like, brooding and agonizing, and it feels so shitty, just so shitty and unfair. And then you'll wrestle with these same emotions over and over again every time you think about it. So you try not to think about it. But then if you don't think about it, you can't work your way through it. But working your way through it fucking sucks because there's just so much of it everywhere. Everywhere you turn, it's there. It influences who you are. It's like a before and an after this event that you did. I am a different person. And I don't know if it's for the better or for the worse. But I fucking hate you and I fucking love you, and just don't do it.
Nearly 30% of Los Angeles teenagers are depressed. 18% think about suicide. 9% attempt and 3% commit suicide. According to the National Institute of Mental Health, 6.3 million American kids and teens have an anxiety disorder. More than 2 million are depressed with difficulties to function. And for 10 to 14-year-olds, suicide is the #1 cause of death. However, numbers can't even begin to describe the pain and suffering many parents, sisters, brothers, and grandparents go through because their loved ones committed suicide. The main reason for this is the growing economic insecurity and the fact that our kids and teens hit puberty in a time of unprecedented, quick tech and social media transformations, creating a completely new artificial intelligence-centered society. But what can we do about it? We can't avoid the change. But the good news is we can help better analyze and understand the biochemical and emotional processes in the brain. And if enough people participate, we are very optimistic that we will even be able to predict the right point in time to intervene and reduce chances of suicide significantly. Professor Marcel Just from the University of Pittsburgh found the differentiator between depressed people who just talk about and a control group who attempted suicide. And with modern brain scanners, you can see it.
For example, the concept of death is just neurally represented differently. Now, we've developed machine learning techniques to capture the neural representation. We can tell how a thought is represented in the human brain.
To make it even more specific, the differentiators are emotional reactions shown here, triggered by specific keywords, and you can see the marked areas on both groups. And because the machine learning algorithms are fully trained,
it's very accurate. It had over 90% accuracy in identifying the group membership of these people.
But brain scanners are expensive, and a patient's Q&A provides only an assessment of a specific moment in time. And depression, like any other illness, progresses over time, and therefore An assessment based on one brain scan will not help to prevent suicide, nor find the right point in time to intervene. But now let me show you something. Hello, this is a little demonstration of how the emotion detection algorithms are working. As you can see, this is a cell phone facing me in about a meter distance, and another cell phone filming the cell phone. And as you can see, the algorithms are picking microfacial expressions in my face and display the different emotions in real time in percent from 100. So let me be a little bit angry, I'm trying. And then let me be happy. And let me be sad. Okay, so you have seen that this works really well and in real time, and if you can have that as an emotional screenshot whenever you unlock your phone, probably 200, 300 times a day, that gives you a good stage of your mental health and your situation and how depressed or not you are. And imagine if emotion detection machine vision algorithms were invisibly installed in your child's cell phone, and that whenever they activate the phone, we create a 1-second video with all the emotional data I just showed you. Now, let's assume a child or teenager activates her phone 200 times per day, times 30 frames per second, that's 6,000 emotional screenshots per day, all fed into an AI brain, creating a timeline. And when 100,000 children and teenagers worldwide participate, that would be 600 million emotional screenshots per day, or 18 billion per month. But that's not all. There are a lot of more data and feedback loops, hundreds of AI algorithms which not only analyze but also dynamically calibrate between different sensors. These systems will not only be able to predict the chances of suicide with a 90% or even higher accuracy, but could also identify all sorts of mental health disorders and recommend what help best for specific types of categories of people. But we can and will do more. Children and teenagers can use their cell phones to get therapy now. And they can choose if they want to stay anonymous or not. Okay, and here's another one. As you can see, my face is completely blurred no matter where I am and what I'm doing, so my identity is protected. And if I alter my voice with another algorithm, no one can figure out who I am. I have a 15-year-old daughter. She is depressed and talks about suicide for more than a year now. When a classmate wrote an email to the teacher, my daughter was questioned and shared her honest thoughts with the counselor. Although this is a confidential conversation, she was not allowed to participate in school anymore because anyone in the system has a legal liability. And as my daughter had to face the consequences, she now could, most likely will start lying to produce a more favorable outcome for herself. And because there is no incentive for her to be truthful anymore, it makes it impossible to assess the suicide risk for mental health professionals. No one wins. But if my daughter can stay anonymous and, let's say, is able to talk with a therapist in another country, another time zone, no legal liability attached, she would be able to open up, finally getting her the help she deserves, just with the click of a button. And parents will receive the first stage classifier to be informed of their child's mental health conditions and have all viable options and resources on the table to get their children and teens the help they need. Everyone wins. And I understand this is an ambitious project. But my 15-year-old daughter is depressed and suicidal, and I can't even imagine what would happen if she wasn't around anymore. And that is why it is my mission to beat the odds. be better than 50% like everyone else. 80% or even 90% and create this groundbreaking AI tech to help saving lives. Join me on this mission and let's get it done.